Greetings, Africa FM listeners. This is Widad Allaoua with your Pan-African News appointment. Addis Ababa formally urges Eritrea in a letter from Ethiopia's Foreign Minister Gideon Timotheus to withdraw its troops still present on Ethiopian territory. In response, Eritrea's Information Minister Yaman Gabre Maskel says the accusations were false and entirely fabricated, describing them as part of a spiral of hostile campaigns. Let's listen to security expert Sadiq Abba speaking to Amal Bouazza about the growing tension between Ethiopia and Eritrea, rooted in access to the sea and unresolved security disputes.
Ethiopia is a landlocked country with no coastline and needs access to the sea. Until now, that access has been ensured through the port of Djibouti. However, Eritrea and Ethiopia are now seeking to diversify Ethiopia's maritime outlets. On the other hand, Eritrea argues that Ethiopia refused to withdraw troops that entered its territory during the war against the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Today, Ethiopia even accuses Eritrea of siding with the Tigray People's Liberation Front.
The African continent is witnessing heightened diplomatic activity in mid-February, with the ordinary session of the African Union's Executive Council set to take place on Wednesday and Thursday, ahead of the Italy-Africa Summit scheduled for February 13th, followed by the African Union Summit on February 14th and 15th. These diplomatic gatherings provide an opportunity to strengthen regional and international cooperation and to discuss key development and political issues shaping the future of the continent. In Burkina Faso, lawmakers unanimously approve a draft law that will automatically repeal the political party's charter, as well as the law governing their financing and the funding of election campaigns. Somalia's federal lawmakers are debating amendments to the country's provisional constitution in a bid to complete a long-delayed charter that would redefine how power is shared in the conflict-scattered Horn of Africa nation. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune receives the credentials of several newly appointed ambassadors to Algeria during an official ceremony. In this context, the newly appointed ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to Algeria, Edouard Kwako Kofi, praises President Tebboune's leadership as the major projects carried out by Algeria. For his part, the newly appointed ambassador of the Republic of Namibia to Algeria, Samuel Kavoto Mbabo, stresses his country's determination to elevate economic relations with Algeria to match the outstanding level of political ties between the two nations. United Nations spokesman Stephen Dujarric announces that Jean-Pierre Lacroix, UN Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations, is visiting the Democratic Republic of the Congo until Wednesday. Speaking at the daily press briefing in New York, Dujarric will meet with President Felix Tshisekedi to discuss the implementation of the UN peacekeeping mandate, including support for a sustainable ceasefire. At least 5 people confirmed killed in clashes in Cameroon's unstable Anglophone northwest region, local media reports. 4 people were killed Sunday night during a raid carried out by armed men on the village of Ntombao. In addition, a motorcycle taxi driver confirmed killed amid clashes in several neighborhoods, according to media outlets. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk says the atrocities committed during the Rapid Support Forces takeover of Al-Fashir in Sudan amounted to preventable catastrophe, voicing concern that similar events could be repeated in Kordofan state. Severe drought continues to prevail in Kenya as it left more than 2 million Kenyans facing hunger in northeastern cattle-raising communities suffering the most, according to the United Nations. Shifting to cultural events, the 13th edition of the Aswan International Festival of Culture and Arts concludes its activity at Fawzi Theatre. The festival is held under the patronage of the Ministry of Culture and the Aswan Governorate. The event forms part of efforts to support Egypt's soft power and to enhance the role of arts in promoting tourism and fostering cultural exchange among nations. Yasmin bin Ashur delves more into this.
With colors, music, and shared joy, the 13th Aswan International Festival of Culture and Arts comes to a close at Fawzi Theatre, under the care of the Ministry of Culture and Aswan Governorate. The closing night brings together officials, artists, diplomats, and a large audience from Aswan and visiting tourists. Folk groups from Egypt and many countries present lively dance and music shows, sharing their traditions and culture stories. Participating groups come from Egypt, Greece, Tunisia, Sudan, Palestine, India, Latvia, Kazakhstan, and Montenegro. The evening ends with the operetta Ahlan Bik, which receives strong applause from the audience. During the festival, shows take place at many cultural and tourist sites across Aswan and attract large crowds. The festival confirms its role as a major international cultural event and highlights Aswan as a place of cultural dialogue, tourism, and friendship between peoples through art.
Concluding with sports, Algeria will host a symbolic and solidarity exhibition football match bringing together former members of the Algerian national team and the Western Sahara team this February 13th at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. The initiative aims to promote the values of solidarity while reviving key historical milestones of Sahrawi football in Algeria. Sidi Mohamed Kazitani, president of Mouloudia Athletic Club at Mansoura in western Algeria and member of the Arab Union of Football Schools, explains how their expertise has allowed them to develop a training model that is now being applied to support young Sahrawis in refugee camps, expressing solidarity and cooperation with the Sahrawi people. Let's listen to Sidi Mohamed Kazi.
It should be noted that the Mansoura Multisport Club is also a founding member of the Arab Union of Football Schools at Academies. This is very important and it opened doors for our small academy. They visited Football Club Cologne and the training camp they organized for us was also a real turning point. After discussions between the leaders, we were able to produce the same model to help Sahrawi youth in the refuge camps. We wanted to express our solidarity and our cooperation between Algerian people and the Sahrawi people. Personally, in this regard, I was inspired by the glorious and famous FLN team. Thanks to it, many countries began to recognize our struggle and our glorious revolution. And we said to ourselves, why not build on this idea to help our Sahrawis brother as well?
Algerian men's national handball team coach Salah Bouchikriou assesses the performance of the Greens at the latest Africa Cup of Nations. Despite finishing fourth and securing qualification for the 2027 World Championship, he points to the difficulty of building a cohesive team due to reliance on a new squad featuring young and relatively inexperienced players. Salah Bouchikriou speaking to Fawzi Merad.
For the African Championship, we had clear objectives. The first being to qualify for the World Championship. Another issue was that some players should have been playing for 15 years. If we take the example of Masoud Berkouz, he has been playing for 15 years. Did we replace Masoud? Did we train another player who could replace him? No. The problem with our team was integrating new players. What I did was bring in 4 players from the under-21 team. I think they responded well. They have a very significant margin for improvement. They are young and have quality. You should not forget that 3 are 12 new players. It was their first participation in the African Championship. It was a risk for me, but I had no other choice, as some players had stopped playing. But unfortunately, they lack experience and competitive exposure. I think we played only one good match, and that was against Angola, a very strong team. In the end, we achieved our objective of qualifying for the World Championship, and that is positive.
This was the harvest of the day. It was directed by Muad Bab Ahmed, the controlling board with Adlan, streaming service with Riyadh, and observation with Taos. Thank you for your attention and join us again tomorrow at 3 p.m. only